Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. You guys liked my oven cleaning so much that I thought, you know what, maybe I should clean the top, because these glass tops are really, they kind of get nasty pretty quick. And there's got to be a non-harsh chemical way of doing that too. And sure enough, there is. So I'm going to show you that today. And we'll get this top nice and clean so that it looks good, and we'll go from there. So what we're going to do here is really kind of a three-step thing. So we're going to use Dawn again. So we put a little bit of Dawn across the whole thing. We just kind of whoop it on there, whoop it on there. There you go. Get it where all the bad spots are for sure, right? So put a little bit of that on there. Baking soda. Really don't even know. I mean, baking soda seems like it's a good clean all type thing. And so we're going to sprinkle that in. There's a couple burners here that we use a lot, but we want to make sure that we get the burners that we use a lot, get those really good covered, which are always the front ones. And get that really put in there as well. Just kind of sprinkle that in there. And again, what I like the best about this is there's no harsh chemical smells. I obviously don't sniff too close to baking soda or any of that sort of thing. But then the last thing you can do is you're going to put a little bit of hydrogen peroxide on there. So just, they say like a couple teaspoons. This thing's got kind of a little squirt thing to it. So I'm just going to put a little bit on there just to make sure that I get a little bit of coverage in there. And then the biggest key to this, especially with these glass top ones, the biggest key is do not use something harsh to scrub with. Don't use a SOS pad or scour pad. You're gonna scratch it. Use something that's not gonna scratch your top of your stove. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of mix this all in, and then we're gonna let this sit for about 5 to 7 minutes or so. We're just gonna kind of mix it in there, and we're gonna go through the whole thing. So you can see it's just really mixing together the baking soda, the Dawn, the hydrogen. Just kind of mixing it in there. You can actually hear the spots where it's not good because it makes a little bit more of a noise with this little bristle brush. So I'm going to kind of mix that in there really good. And I'll go over the spots that are a little bit worse. These front spots are always worse because we use these front burners a lot. So you're going to get that really good in the front here. And then we're going to let that sit there. Ooh, there's a bad spot. So we're going to let that sit there, and then we're going to wipe it all clean, and you're going to see how beautifully clean this is.
5 minutes later.
Okay, so it's been about 5 to 6 minutes here, and this is one of those things too that if yours is super nasty and you haven't cleaned it forever, you might have to do this a couple different times. Okay, so they won't always come clean the first time. Sometimes you have to give it a little bit more. You don't want to scrub harder, especially with these glass top ones. So you want to kind of keep it, let it soak in, do it again, let it soak in, do it again until you get it clean. So now I have a clean cloth, clean white cloth. And so I'm just going to slowly wipe it down. I'm going to have to do this a couple different times, right, to get all the residue off. So the biggest thing I think that's a challenge with any baking soda stuff is you kind of get that grittiness to it. So you're going to have to wipe it down, get into some of the spots. You'll have to maybe get in a little bit, and a little bit of elbow grease. Good thing there's not a huge area, right? Just to get the remaining spots out of there, right? So do that, wipe it down, rinse your cloth a few times to get some of that baking soda off there. So I'm going to rinse quick. And basically, you're going to see how nice and clean it is. Okay, I'm going to use one piece just to kind of wipe down, get the residue off. So this is just a little paper towel quick to get some of the remaining soap. When you put Dawn on things, it's a tendency to bubble up and keep bubbling up until you actually get all that Dawn off there. So you can see that we're looking better. We're looking pretty good here. So you can see all the spots are pretty much gone out of it. There's a couple that you could probably use maybe one more round, but pretty darn good, right? And then the last thing is, this is kind of a dealer's choice thing. Like I'm a fan of Windex, but I like the smell and that sort of thing, the lemony scent. But vinegar works just as well for this, right? So you spray a little bit of vinegar on there, just to give it, basically take all that residue off and then give it kind of a good shine. Again, it's really kind of up to you if you want what you want to use for that. But vinegar is a little bit more natural, and so if you want to make sure it's kind of like non-chemical-ish, vinegar is the thing for you. So I did this with vinegar today just to kind of show the one with the least chemicals that we could show here. And there you go. So If you zoom in nice and tight here, you'll see there's a couple spots we could do again, but if you saw the before and after, I think you'll see that this little non-chemical way of doing it with just baking soda, hydrogen peroxide, Dawn, and just a little light scrubber because of the glass, don't want to scratch it, and then letting it wait 5 to 7 minutes and then wiping it all down, put a little vinegar on it to give it the shine, works pretty darn well. So that's how you clean like a glass, like stovetop. And we'll put a link in the description below to the other cleaning videos we have for the oven itself, our tile and grout cleaner one, and we'll see you next time.